Hello and welcome to a special episode of Mystery Jumped, from the Father from the Point podcast. Tis I.
Perfect timing for your period. This is perfect. Wait, let's get louder.
This is dope. Welcome to episode 15 of the Father from the Point podcast. This time, the spooky, scary one.
Because it's Spooktober. I am holding the mic this episode.
Stole my mic. I'm your host, Fariz.
I put cut
Actually,
like
no, today you're the host.
I'm always the host.
You're the co-host.
We are both co-hosts, what?
I'm your co-host, Fariz.
And I'm your co-host. Ambulance sound.
Or police.
Oh,
We don't know.
Isn't there ambulance though?
Yeah.
They
Hopefully we don't
don't
find out.
sound the same.
I don't know.
Effects.
Goddamn. So, if you're listening, you won't really know. But we're not exactly in a regular location. We're at an undisclosed,
Lim Chu
unknown-
Kang Cemetery.
with the famous Lim Chu Kang HDBs in the background. If you're watching us on video, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's a bit of a special episode.
For Spooktober.
Spooktober.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
This time-
Spooktober.
Featuring
Sponsored by.
the most spookiest drink. Mandu.
You have to show the camera. So selfish. Camera there.
Mandu.
And then
Yeah.
open the mic.
You gotta do. That's gonna peak the
Oh,
audio.
okay. Every time. Don't have to that both be
You
that
gotta
far.
do the do. You know how loud shit is.
Okay, hold the mic. I want to open my drink. So selfish. I am drinking Revive.
Generic Revive soda.
Why is it generic though?
There's no brand to it.
Asli,
healthy.
original.
That's the flavor.
So I open it how far?
You're gonna struggle to open it?
You can't be sure. Your body just did the little thing. It's perfect for Spooktober.
I gotta say, very spooky episode so far. Opening cans. Talk about Mountain Dew.
It's the most generic isotonic drink though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just bootleg isotonic. Nothing spookier than
Oh my god, nothing comes out like air.
that's possibly the worst one we ever recorded.
Come, I beg for holding it. You see if you
so
can
you-
give a loud burp. No?
Not bourbon. I didn't drink the burp.
Oh,
I drink for thrills.
lame. Alright,
So
so
you want to explain to the audience what we're doing out here in the middle of
Lim Chu Kang Cemetery.
butt fuck
Lim Chu
nowhere.
Kang HDB.
Future Lim Chu Kang HDB.
There's bodies everywhere. No, okay, so today, the whole episode, it's supposed to be, can you look at the camera for me? And then just do this. Then after that, when I'm talking the next two words, just do this. Okay, Lee?
Okay.
Today, we're talking about true crime. Thanks. It looks quite nice.
For
Yeah.
our audio listeners, we did the SpongeBob imagination thing.
Oh, that's really thick.
But except instead of like two hands, it's only one hand
Our hand-
times two.
Yeah.
Which I guess is two hands.
Yeah, still the same in a sense. But no, because
Really spooky looking.
the reason why I so badly wanted to do this episode is because this is a bit overdue. But because someone skating.
Nothing scary
No.
than skater boys.
No, skater zombies. It's Lim Chu
Skater
Kang.
ghouls.
Skater ghouls.
Skater ghouls.
He was a skater ghoul. He said, "See you later, girl." Okay.
Yeah,
No, it's supposed to be spooky.
Spooks.
Ooh.
You know what's spooky?
Boo. I like the background sound effects. It's really quite cool. But okay,
The venue is really lending.
perfect. Yeah.
It's great.
Because not just sometime back when Dahmer, the Jeffrey Dahmer, the Netflix
I guess,
adaptation.
we should give a little context. You are fresh off the heels of watching the new Netflix series for Dahmer.
Not so fresh because you took too long to record this episode. But I'm happy because you got a good location. Oh. No, but because I did watch it this month actually, if I'm not wrong. Or
About this month.
I think it's about this
It wasn't
month.
that long.
And I watched it and I was so into the show. And I just really wanted to talk about it, not just about Dahmer, but mainly the show Dahmer, but also just about serial killers and just true crime in general, because it's so messed up, because I find it so fascinating. Like something is fundamentally wrong. But
Clearly.
according to Twitter, a little bit of Instagram, and a lot of TikTok, a lot of women out there, we love true crime, murder stories, how to get away with murder, but we get very scared with horror movies like Conjuring and Annabelle.
And you're here to represent that part of the internet where everyone's very into like the minds of serial killers.
Yeah.
And then I'm on over here. I'm the part of the internet that goes like, yeah, this is just a bit too much, y'all.
But okay,
'Cause,
it's not said.
my main thing is that I realize you're holding it very daintily. You're holding it like it's a cup of wine.
So I'm not supposed to hold it like that? Oh my god, do it again. No. Oh, you had another one. Selfish.
I hope that did not pick the audio.
It's okay. It's part of the spooky experience.
Ambiance.
Uh-oh. We're not even sync what we are saying.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Spook.
Dahmer. Oh, you're trying to see the...
October?
So the last thing you need to do first.
So yeah, with Netflix releasing yet another documentary. Is it really a documentary or is it just like a series?
Okay, it's a drama series, but it's called a docu-series in a sense. But
yeah,
it's
true.
because specifically for Dahmer, this one starring Evan Peters. He's also the actor who acted in American Horror Story. So if you watch that
AHS,
franchise,
yeah.
you of course know who Evan Peters is. But the thing about this Dahmer documentary Netflix adaptation series and stuff, this is not the first of its kind that is a show, a movie or whatever that's being made. There's so many
There's
movies.
a lot of these, yeah.
And because the story of Jeffrey Dahmer it's not like in 2010. This is like 70s, 80s? Oh my god, I just watched the show.
I want to say
70s,
wasn't it a bit? No, I
80s.
want to say it was in the 80s.
80s, if I'm not wrong.
It's not that recent, but not that long ago either.
Yeah, and the reason why it's so fascinating that I found out, I do know some people like who are studying like a degree in psychology or something, and part of their
Criminal psychology is a thing.
yeah, and legitimate in Singapore, part of like their module or whatever, they actually have to write like a case study or some weird thingy about Jeffrey Dahmer. So it's like a very big name. But Jeffrey Dahmer though, he's not the world's most infamous serial killer or things like that. There are people like the Zodiac Killer. There are people like Ted Bundy. I don't know a lot more.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna mention the Zodiac Killer because he was the more recent one that comes to mind for me because of his whole like Zodiac. Like what makes him famous, quote unquote, was like that he left that cipher that was famously unsolvable until very recently. Like I think of all places, like subreddit, like the Zodiac Killer subreddit actually finally cracked it, and like they managed to get the cipher, then deciphered the last code that he did, sent to the FBI, and then they actually managed to, I guess, confirm like who he was.
Yeah.
And they found out that he already died like 5 years ago. And it was to the point where a lot of people realized that there was actually a movie about the Zodiac Killer and how famous he was for not being caught.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are realizing that he probably saw his own movie. And was probably just straight up laughing at everyone being
I actually watched the movie. I think it wasn't called the Zodiac Killer though. It was just called the Zodiac.
It was just called Zodiac.
I think I also saw it on Netflix. It's an old movie, but I saw it on Netflix also. Thank you, Netflix. But like honestly, nowadays it's just 3 main platforms for me: Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. You stream it there, I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, yeah.
I'm so tired of those bootleg websites that have too many ads.
I mean,
and
that's
stuff
what streaming was supposed to be.
Yeah,
It's great, but then no, it's like there's too many streaming sites, which goes back to the problem.
Because apparently I always thought like Amazon Prime was like, if you have an Amazon Prime thing, it's like cool and shit. No, apparently there's a lot more. Hulu, I don't know what other weird ones.
Hulu, Paramount Plus.
specifically for Paramount movies. Yeah.
I think Nickelodeon shows on it now. Like SpongeBob, I think it's now gonna go up to Paramount Plus or something.
But serial
So that's
killers,
another kind of horror. That's just corporate horror, which is just daily life.
Yeah, but the reason
Back
why
to Dahmer.
Dahmer. The thing about
Damn,
Dahmer. No, but legit, what made me okay, before watching the
Like
show.
constantly check the audio to make sure it's doing fine.
Okay. What I might just project my voice a bit more, but what I really like about the show, prior to watching the show, I do know, I've read up on Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff. I've even seen like some interviews, like real live interviews that they had with the real guy before he died and things like that. I knew about his case, but I haven't watched any of the movies. I haven't watched any of like any shows or what prior. Most of it were movies that were made though. I think there was some docu-series or something. I'm not sure. But of course now in this 2022, of course if you make something on Netflix, it really blows up. Everyone knows about it. But what messed me up about the whole show, of course, to try to fundamentally understand how Dahmer's brain kind of worked and why he did what he did there were two things that I wanted to address, and I find it like, I'm not sure if it's a very Netflix thing to do or if it's really any kind of, even like Ted Bundy, the starring Zac Efron and Emily, Lily, oh my god, I can't remember her name.
I don't remember. I didn't watch
She acted in Emily in Paris, but she has
Emily. Paris Emily.
oh my god, what's
We
her
all
name?
know an Emily.
How
The one
can
who
I
went to
forget her
Paris.
name? I really like her then. I follow her on Instagram and stuff, but it's not coming to my head now. But basically, it stars the both of them. And the similar thing that I'm seeing about that Ted Bundy movie that was taken and also Dahmer is that when you watch it, it really makes you see the perspective of the serial killer. The problem is when people watch that, they really victimize the serial killer. I'm not saying that what they did was right, of course not, but of course they were mentally fundamentally something was wrong, that's why they did what they did. But
That's why
a lot of
people
times
like they study their brains
exactly.
and stuff. Yeah.
But the thing about like the Dahmer part is that especially the series, they really, really film it in such a way where they victimize Dahmer a lot. So on Twitter, I go to Twitter a lot. The people who were very big fans of like Evan Peters and stuff, other than the fact that once again idealizing a hot serial killer,
that's
Mark
like-
Mark Short's hot guy.
That's my issue.
I let him kill me kind of people, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, but a lot of them actually felt bad for Jeffrey Dahmer. Mind you, the real guy died years ago. By the internet, there's so many people, girls, guys, I don't give a shit. But they are feeling so bad for what he did, for his broken childhood, for his this. So like they are focusing on the victimization versus, do you know what he did to a bunch of innocent people? And the thing is,
Wasn't majority of Dahmer's like victims like children?
okay, not all,
Or, like,
but
youths.
minor. Yeah, that's some were minor, and majority were youth. The common thing about his victims that they were all almost all of them were gay, and most of them
didn't know
were
that.
people of color, black people, and some like that's a common
I heard that was a thing.
a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I think because like I didn't watch the show because it's not really
telling
my
you to watch it. True crime is awesome.
no I don't mind true crime. Like
I mind watching it.
I get its appeal because it's a real story. It's the same reason why people like documentaries. It's a real thing, and you learn a thing or two, like in a weird
Do you
roundabout
like the
way.
genre
But
though? That's like crime. Are you
I
into it?
guess I like
Because I couldn't
I
get
like
you to watch How to Get
crime.
Away with Murder also.
yeah. But to be fair,
Fiction.
how to get away with murder? How to get away with murder? For me, it's a bit too drama-y.
It is
it
a murder
focus-
drama.
Yeah, but there's more drama than murder.
Oh,
Yeah,
not really,
that's
but
for me
okay.
at least. I just couldn't get into it. But the reason why a lot of these true crimes, especially the recent ones,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I don't like a lot of them is that before I hear about the show, I see what gets me not wanting to watch these every single time. A very big
Don't tell me it's the hype.
It's not even the hype. I wouldn't mind if it was hype.
Okay.
This one is straight up like I see thirst traps of the killers, and it's not like it's not even the actor. It's the actual like
person.
killer.
Yeah, but that's exactly what they did with Ted Bundy also. When the movie came out, Zac Efron and stuff, of course, lots of thirst traps to do with Zac Efron, but then the actual Ted Bundy too.
Yeah, and it's like
that to me was messed up.
It makes me, because it used to be like I thought these people like they fantasize about these people because they don't know that this is a real person. I always just thought it's just that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it could be like a show.
Yeah, like I didn't know that I didn't know that Ted Bundy was a real person. I didn't know that Jeffrey Dahmer was a real person. You know, I thought it was just a show.
You just thought it's a good looking guy.
These people straight out like they address the fact. Like some of them, I once saw a tweet that was like, this girl that was like, I wouldn't have minded being a victim of Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm like, there are people who are still affected by his killings, right? The
families and all that.
Yeah,
but the parents who couldn't get their kids back.
The clip I saw that, like, just to tell you as well, that the clip that I saw that made me not want to watch Dahmer.
Why?
Was this clip where it was the one where I guess Dahmer is in a courtroom and there's this black lady who's like there as a witness or something at the stand.
Oh, is it the one that shouted a lot?
Yeah, she's like shouting at him, and then someone made a clip.
That was a very small role though, a small part.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I mean, I don't.
But I'm just.
But that clip, someone put it side by side
with the real one.
Yeah, to like the real actual like court footage of that lady like actually like legitimately like berating him in the court.
Correct.
And like with the actor doing it, and it's like at first I just saw the clip and I thought that's kind of cool, like how accurate they actually made it.
Mm-hmm.
But then someone like quote retweeted it and they mentioned it that it's like they found it a bit appalling that this is a real thing that happened. This lady is like still alive and she was very obviously traumatized by this kind of thing, because I guess the victim was like her son or somebody close to her. I
think that one was the brother, if I'm not wrong. The one who lost the cool was the brother. The one that lost a lot of them lost their sons and stuff, but the ones who lost their sons, if anything, they sounded broken.
Yeah, and it's like these people are traumatized. These are things that you can't. There's no way for anyone to like repay them.
Correct, yeah.
Like whatever you do to like Dahmer or whoever like these perpetrators are, like nothing you can do is going to undo what they did.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because like it gets me because they in the retweet it's like for these people the trauma and damage is real. Someone recreated this and now is profiteering off of that trauma. And now, not only is it profiteering, now it's like now this thing is being replayed and praised for this actor. Like the actor, like it was their job. She was tasked to do the thing, and she did a good job.
Yeah.
But now it's like what she's essentially doing is like she recreated that scene for a modern audience that is now going to be cemented as this permanent piece of media that is like a monument to this dark chapter in this person's life. That she could have actually been like, that's a part of my life that is closed, is done and dusted. But now it's coming back, and now it's because Dahmer is such a very big hit.
Yeah,
it's coming back again and again and again, and she has to relive this thing. Like, it's a wound that was already healing, and then
maybe
Netflix came in and then just tore it open, and now it's back
I don't
up.
think it's really like Netflix thing. It's really sometimes the internet. But one thing I have to tell
it's always
you,
the internet.
this is actually part of the show. In the show, and when you read the real not say files lah, the case studies, or not even case studies, the real thing that actually happened with the real Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff. This was back, like this is decades ago, right?
Yeah.
And this is now 2022. Decades ago with Dahmer and the killings, and when all the murders and how he murdered them became headlines in newspaper, and Dahmer was imprisoned first and stuff like that, serving his sentence, Dahmer grew a fan base.
Oh yeah.
He had a fan base.
He had a cult, didn't he? Oh no, that was the other one. Charles Manson. Charles Manson had a cult.
Okay.
Charles
Yeah,
Manson had a cult.
okay.
He's the guy who looks like Dan Everdan from the Game Grumps.
Oh no. But yeah, I get
God
a
bless his soul.
similarity.
Dan, not
No.
not Charles Manson.
you
Dan.
better clarify that. No, but for real, like then they had the fan base. So the way I'm seeing it now, which was weird because clearly Evan Peters was playing Jeffrey.
Oh, it's like a thing in my eye. Is it a ghost? Is there a ghost in my eye?
It's Dahmer. No, no, like Evan Peters who was playing. Oh no, I can hold it. Spirit, yeah.
Like you're being useful.
Evan Peters that was playing Jeffrey Dahmer is getting his like fan base not just for Evan Peter as the new Jeffrey Dahmer in terms of the character Jeffrey Dahmer. The fan base are celebrating him just the way the fan base celebrated the real Jeffrey Dahmer back in the day. But the difference is
You ask me, that's the scary part.
That's the exactly.
The fact that like these weird cult
because
killings.
people actually found the fan base back then. People actually because he's in jail, right? So how can he get anything? People send him money. People send him whatever.
Didn't people send in like their used women send in like their used bras and panties in the mail?
Yeah.
It's
the thing is that they celebrated that guy fully knowing what he did.
Yeah.
He's not like a wrongfully convicted felon. No.
He admitted to the killings.
That's the thing.
Right?
And he was even admitted to the fact that he committed them while, there's a difference when you commit something with an unsound mind and when you're sane.
Yeah.
That guy was sane throughout. He knew what was coming for him.
Yeah.
But it's just, and for me, one of the, this is the intriguing part of the Dahmer docu-series and also of course the real Jeffrey Dahmer. It was the way he killed. You see, because of course even in Singapore, rare
Is
but
there
whatever.
a sex thing related to it?
A bit of necrophilia, but that's not the worst. That's really not the worst. You know how in Singapore or a lot of other countries, how do you kill someone? You stab them, you shoot them, you beat them to death. That's normal in terms of murdering someone, straightforward to the point. Or some people in a bar fight, break a bottle. It's still a stabbing thing. Those are
stabbing.
It's normal.
Asians and stabbings just go well.
I mean, this is just not even Asians. It's like America shootings, whatever. You have a gun. Dahmer, the problem was it's because of his obsession with also partly being in control and also the whole of wanting the obsession with. Because the thing how it worked and the backstory of Dahmer's childhood is that he and his dad, but the dad didn't knew what he was trying to cultivate basically. They like to dissect on roadkills and stuff. So with the obsession, he felt like roadkills, organs and whatnot, he liked it. And then
the viscera.
Yeah, but the thing is when you're talking about humans, how do you reach the organs? I can't just punch you and take your organs out. It doesn't work that way. And don't forget,
if you're a man, you can do it.
Humans, on the other hand, we don't just have skin. We have our skin until our epidermis, whatever. We have bones that are hard to get rid of, and then organs and everything. Also, what he does is not to dissolve the skin, acid. Acid. And for one of the guys, one of the miners, he not only did he drill a hole in that guy's head, he poured acid into that guy's
I heard about.
head.
I didn't know that was Dahmer. I read about that. Somebody had that happen to him. I didn't know it was a Dahmer case.
And then for the extra skin, all he cuts, he puts it in a giant. In Joker when Suicide Squad Joker when Harley Quinn jumps into
The
giant
vat of
tub.
acid, yeah.
It's those ginormous tubs of acid that he dissolved the skin, but the bones don't melt in that though. So for them, what he decides to do is to vent out his anger in a certain way. He just crushes until it becomes powder for some of it, and then the organs, some of them he preserved. He liked to look at it. Some of them he cooked and eat it. Some of them he just played with it and eat it raw. And then before any of that happened, necrophilia, when the body is already dead, he just has sex with it because then he's in complete control. So it's quite messed up. And to me, why it's fascinating, it's because for you to go to that extent to kill, for example, you're not directly killing them. I say, if you want me dead, shoot me, punch me hard enough, stab me enough times and I'll die. You literally dissect me, layer by layer in a sense. You preserve me, you consume me, and then you have this type of an urge that after you do one, you can't just kind of stop it. You
And
go
it's
on.
it's like the way you describe it. I understand why majority of his fan base are women.
Why? How is that?
Because I mean, it's the same.
Intriguing,
It's the same
but
reason why
messed up.
a lot of like women are drawn. Not drawn. It is another like a issue
Okay.
with women going to abusive men or being in abusive relationship and like they just can't. Like everyone says like, oh, you know, the guy's like abusing you, get the fuck out. But the woman just like, I just can't. I can fix him.
So
But
I cannot
it seems to
relate
be
it because
a-
I don't stand for like abuse. Like I'm like abuse me,
I
I'm
mean,
out.
but it's like.
But I can't say for everybody.
But some women are genuinely like it's
I
not,
know people who are like that. That's why they call them
Yeah.
toxic relationships.
Yeah, but like they know
They
it,
just
but they
thrive in it.
just-
They thrive in that
Yeah,
toxic
because there's something
toxicity.
about like being with someone who is abusive because that person is in control and
Yeah.
usually these people have no self-control,
Yeah.
so then they're drawn to people with too much control. So I can see like the pieces are starting to link up why like a lot of women like send him panties in prison. That part just
Goodness.
sickens me.
But if you ask me, the scary thing about that is still watching. I mean, they of course didn't show all of it. They cannot. It's a bit hard to film those things also.
I mean,
But-
at some point, it becomes like, are you making a snuff film? Which is another like spook thing,
Spook,
like
yeah.
whether snuff films are real. They are real, actually. You know what a snuff film is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
A snuff film, in case you are not aware, is a film where someone actually dies in it.
Okay, then I got. Yeah, because in my head it was okay then okay no then it's not because in my it's something similar but not quite what you said. In my head was in the filming of a movie, someone plays a character that dies and then like they die like a lot of Japanese horror movies they do it like while filming there's a movie while filming something the it's a movie about a movie making a movie kind of a thing, then they die and then things still carry on and they still release it and things like that. I didn't know that it actually means that it's not a movie in a movie, it means in a real shooting someone dies.
A snuff film is literally it's not like there's no, well, some of them have plots, but it's a movie where like someone actually dies, like the point of the film is that they die, and then there's actually a very big urban legend where what's his name, Marilyn Manson,
Yeah.
actually directed the snuff film. Like he actually killed someone, and like that footage is out there somewhere. There's this big urban legend about it, and I think it's fascinating.
Hope we can get one person on camera. Nope. I thought they were going to slam on the wall.
Then we have a snuff film going on. We ain't mad about it, man.
Dahmer. No. But oh yeah, and actually there's another point also I wanted to address in this
Did he lure children?
not kids, not like
I mean, like youth,
5.
like
Yeah.
his victims.
But he never. Okay, the thing about the way he lured them, it's like, for example, you go to a gay bar, you see a guy, you try your luck with him, and you try to convince him to come back with you, right? It's like that. And like if you drive by, you see someone's car is a bit like couldn't jump start it or something like that. You offer your help, but like, hey, everything's in my place. Wanna come in? Get it? It's that kind. It is not a kidnap kind of a thing.
Like he betrays that trust.
In a sense.
Yeah.
But this one thing that I found was a very big takeaway of the show that actually I'm glad people picked up on was the fact that this movie, Dahmer, when he moved into his own apartment and stuff like that, his neighbor, a black woman, actually called on the cops. So there was one point where one of the victims, if I'm not wrong, that was the guy he drilled the head off or whatever. But because he once they're in the apartment, he gives them, like, he makes them a drink, and then that's where he drugs them and stuff. But the thing is that because the guy was drugged and stuff, you cannot fully function, right? So you're like kind of, when you're very drugged, sometimes you come across, if you play the cards right, you can come across drunk. So what happened was that guy, like, only his underwear was on, managed to escape actually. When he escaped, of course the black lady has a lot of suspicions over Dahmer. Might I add, this was a movie taken at a time, of course, and in reality where black people were not trusted anyway by the cops and stuff like that.
Racism.
This was a very big call out, because guess what happened when the cops actually showed up on a minor boy? They took Dahmer's words over her when Dahmer said that it's just my friend, he's just really drunk, and like what's the thing called, like, I'll just get him back and stuff. Then he was like, that's not a grown man, that's a kid. She kept yelling, and they were like, ma'am, calm down. And she was like verbally warned, that kind of thing. The cops, the two of them, sent him back up to Dahmer's place where he got killed. It gets worse because this is back then, right? And you're talking about America. It's the whole, one thing I like about the Netflix take is that they did show the whole behind the scenes on how you know how cops are like gets a bad name, especially because of American cops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This film really, and it's so relevant to this day and time, because how those two were reprimanded and how they were punished, and how whatever it is really reprimanded, warned, given a warning and punished or whatever for the public. But in the ceremony that they held for them, these two cops were given awards.
Yeah,
Like it's very like it's believable.
That's as American as can get.
Like, and then like the lady, she didn't want that credit or anything. She just she must have okay. The other thing that she also reported on that was kept being slept on, I'm not sure if you ever smelled a dead body. I haven't, but
I have.
You have? Oh, okay. But like
I mean, I served my national service. It was it was an interesting time.
because like my mom, she used to work as a nurse, and there were times she had to go to the morgue and stuff, and some bodies come in a bit. I'm pretty sure she's ever dealt with like a charred body or whatever. But here's the thing, be it a charred body or a dead body, I mean, even police officers get calls from their neighbors when someone's house is. And Singapore has quite a lot of cases. The person has died for a few days. You get a specific smell. Decomposing flesh.
Like people die in their sleep, but like they don't have like close friends or any family, so then the body's kind of just left there to rot.
Yeah. So the thing about
like the case in Toa Payoh.
Yeah. So
I like bringing that up because it's very like a.
Real?
It's for. I guess it's an interesting story because I actually met people who were involved in that case.
Because, neighbors? You mean the neighbors or something, or?
Yeah, you can say that. I don't want to say who they are,
okay.
but because it's I'm not going to say it's sensitive because it's a very. It's as close shut as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
So basically, for those who don't know, in the district of Toa Payoh over here in Singapore, there was a complaint that happened from a neighbor in an apartment block. The neighbor complained of like there's this like I haven't seen my neighbor in a while.
Okay.
And I'm hearing a lot of like birds in the house.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I'm remembering.
And it's like I don't know what is happening. Like could like someone check it out? So then the first officers on the scene, they were there like, wait, something's kind of wrong because there's like a bunch of mail that's piling up. They knocked on the door multiple times, and it's like it's a unit that have come over to multiple times, and there's never been anyone who's ever like answered the door. And then so they made a few checks, and they were like, I guess the duty people that were on, they were like, yeah, we should check this out, and then no one's answering.
Yeah.
And they could not get anyone that is linked to this unit, so something is definitely wrong.
Okay.
So I guess one way or another, they got clearance to like break open the door.
Okay.
In like one of those like good faith kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
So they broke open the door. Oh no! Before they broke open it, the police actually have this thing called a boroscope, which is it's like a long snake-looking thing. It's like a mechanical thing with a camera at the end. So they snaked it under the door
For them to see what's inside the apartment.
and they saw like it's like a rental place. So it's like it's only one big room.
Yeah. The hall.
And they saw something in the kitchen.
Okay.
And it was like you know what it was. It looked vaguely like a foot, but they couldn't know. And like so then on good faith they were like, oh, maybe somebody fell and they needed help.
Yeah.
Or they already did.
Yeah.
So they had the clearance. They got the clearance. They broke open the door they didn't break it. They got a locksmith. So then they broke the lock, they opened the door, and instead of finding a dead body or something, they straight up found a completely decomposed skeleton. Like, no meat, no maggots, just bones and an outline on the floor. And the reason why there were like pigeon noises was because the windows were wide open.
Yeah.
No, the pigeons weren't eating it because there's nothing left to eat.
Maybe they eat it till there was nothing left.
Possibly. Because it's fully decomposed.
Yeah.
Like, there's no meat. So, like, like when you die, you're left on the floor for a long time. Like, when you die,
You rot.
your body is wet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fluids in your body.
Yeah.
Right. So when you die, the fluids just naturally seep out.
Yeah.
So if they like get onto the floor and like you don't clean it up, like
leave the
like,
giant-
you leave
yeah.
like a stain.
Yeah.
So that stain was pretty much permanent. It took a very long time for like trauma cleaners
Is
to
that one
clean
of
it
the
up.
units that was sold for a very high price?
Yeah.
Now I know why I remember
Ironically,
that
yeah.
unit. Yep.
And I don't know, I think it's cool. You know, shit like that.
That it was sold for a high price?
Oh, no, that part. That's just
Oh.
no, that's another horror story coming.
That's a real
Because I
horror story.
remember, if you talk about that, there's actually another unit. There is this celebrity in Singapore who, I guess she was a movie actor or something, but she was like, I'm done with acting. I'm gonna be a real estate agent.
Oh,
So
okay.
apparently, one of the first places she got to sell, she didn't know what the unit was until she sold it.
Yeah.
Because it was a unit that a bunch of her colleagues were assigned to sell the unit, but they could never sell it, and they just never told her why. So then when she finally sold it to this couple, and like she was like finally, because she was new and she finally sold it, everybody was like, oh, you actually managed to sell the unit. Like, yeah, congratulations, good for you. And then so she finally got the gall and like she asked like her senior colleagues, was like, what is up with that house? How
nobody
come
could sell it?
how come no one could sell it? And how come when I sold it, I was like, I mean, it's my first house, but why was it such a big thing? And it turns out in like the 70s, there was a cult. Not really a cult. There was this guy who managed to basically trick two women into thinking that he was like some kind of deity.
Uh-huh.
And so they did ritual killings in that house. Like they lured, I believe they had two victims. Both of them are like children. Dahmer. So these were like literal children. So like it was like the first victim was a little girl and the second one was a little boy. So what they did was, I guess they managed to this sick asshole managed to trick these two women into thinking that he was some god. So
it's like a sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice. It was a sacrificial killing. So it was like fucked up. I think somewhere in there he was also like, the three of them were charged like the murder of like those two children and also like a guy, because like he did like electroshock therapy on the two women, and one of the women was married. So I guess one way or another, but like she was doing shock therapy. He like the husband came in and interrupted some way, one way or another.
So he
got electrocuted. But he managed to tell the cops and the coroner that like it was a electrical mishap and he just died from electrocution, but it wasn't his fault. He was like fixing a circuit or something and he died from it. And so like this lady, this poor lady,
she sold the house, she didn't know.
She had no idea because no one told her.
And the couple of course wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Or unless they knew and they wanted to buy it.
I mean, I don't know.
There are some people who like those stuff things in the
Yeah,
house.
some people are like they're into that kind of thing.
The
which is
couple just goes and start another ritual.
oh
or
fuck, not again.
No, but the reason why I mentioned just now the smell of because thankfully and I hope I don't have to smell it. Because like my
It's
mom,
not a good smell.
Yeah, because my mom couldn't fully describe the scent of what she smelled, but she said that it's a smell she will never forget. Like if she smells it again, it's like ingrained in her brain. But the thing is that I kind of want to know what it was. But the thing is, I don't want to go around trying to find rotting flesh to smell. And the thing about human flesh is that it doesn't smell the same as a dead animal.
No.
Exactly. So I
think-
cannot relate.
I think something that like, because it's human flesh, so like it's chemical makeup and stuff. It's like we're made of it, so we're more familiar to it. So I think it's like a cops, firefighters, paramedics,
Doctors, nurses, maybe because
nurses. Like is that smell that like I guess maybe not doctors and nurses because like they deal with like fresh dead bodies. I guess more
Like,
often
I
than
told you,
not.
like my mom, if you see like a bit like morgue, but it's a bit charred, you still kind of have
That's
to.
true. Charred human, like burnt
That's
human flesh.
different.
That's
Brand
a
is
whole other
different,
kind
yeah.
of
So
thing,
I think
yeah.
she has actually encountered those. So my mom has been through a lot. She's seen a lot, and so I kind of always am like curious. So the reason why I shared this with you was because when the black lady that smelled the weird, because these are like apartments where they all share the same ventilation system, so the vents, she could smell the rotting flesh, but she didn't know what it was. So of course she confronted Dahmer first. She confronted Jeffrey and then
Very
asked
fucking
him.
hero she is, I think.
No, that's the thing. And she we always invited her, but she always like stand at the door and kind of talk to him. But then he always gave an excuse. I tried to cook, my barbecue got burned, this and that. She called the cops so many times on him. Every time they told her to stop annoying them,
Like
stop
nuisance
irritating them.
calls,
Nuisance called. You actually really expect us to come. She even reported to the hotel, the apartment manager and stuff. And they're like, he just went and gave him a warning of like to go and get the area clean because it smells weird. But because they didn't put the pieces, like these are like people he has sawed the blood of like human
my
and
God.
stuff. Yeah. So when you watch that, I'm just like, damn, this guy is ruthless. And how, so for out of everybody who has people who have directly lost their family member, she was not related to anybody, but she felt so responsible when he finally got apprehended for whatever it was. And the messed up part is, can you imagine, you did everything you could in your power to warn someone that there's something wrong, and you were not believed because of the skin of your color. And in your
Color of your
report,
skin.
sorry, my brain was just like color of your skin. But and then in that process, you couldn't help but feel responsible that one boy
Yeah, I
was
know,
sent
yeah.
back. She was constantly seeing his faces in public places.
It's very like a. I guess it's not exactly the same, but it's very like survival.
Guilt.
Survivor guilt. I think that's what it's
But
called.
it's not fully the same. But let's like, if you have a school
Yeah.
shooting and you're the one survivor, that's a different thing. But like, yeah, but hers is like, because
But it's probably like going on here. Like if she tried a bit harder, like all of this could have been prevented and stuff.
She kept being hard on herself. And the thing was that she wasn't a young lady. She was like, her niece once in a while came and visited her and stuff. So she was like an age of like a mom. So she could understand, and she actually attended the funerals of the other people.
It's not an easy thing to like
to deal with.
because
and people don't talk about this about the show. I mean, unless you talk about this and you relate to that, or you talk about true crime, you don't talk about how hot Jeffrey Dahmer is. Hello.
But then for me, like that's the problem with these shows because they never talk about the victims.
But
because everyone
I'm sharing with you what I've seen in the show, but it's
Yeah.
not what I read on Twitter.
Yeah, but because like for me, here's the thing: it's like you want to make things like this, then it's like because if you talk about these as cases, right, as like real incidents that happen, everyone knows who Jeffrey Dahmer is. Everyone knows who Charles Manson, who Ted Bundy is.
Yeah.
All these other like murderers. Like I can't think
Serial
of
killers.
I can't think of any of these people. Like I can only think of those three right now, but there's like hundreds of them out
And
there.
although some of them who are known for like a lot of cannibalism and things
like
like
shit like that. But
yeah.
like, do you know a single name of the victims? Like the victims, the ones who are actually the ones who suffered at the hands of these
She
people.
wanted, when they demolished the building, the apartment, because they evacuated everybody, forcefully evacuated because it was a crime scene. They thought it was like, okay, it's a crime scene, so not the floor, not the units around, the entire building. Then they had to like whatever. Then they said they were going to demolish the building and stuff.
They demolished the building?
No, they demolished it, and then she kept going non-stop. Like, you know how we have town council and stuff? They also have like their town thing, whatever. They said that a park was supposed to be built or something, and she was like, if there's anything going to be built, it should be a memorial for all those, I think 17 or 19 victims. It's not 2 or 3. And she was saying that they should be remembered. It's his face, it's his name being plastered everywhere. Exactly what you see, what she said. But apparently in the show, but this one I didn't read up on it to just check whether it's true or not. Apparently the entire area, once it was demolished, is just still a plot of empty space until now.
That's about
which just
what I expected.
sucks. Yeah. Yep.
But like that's the it's a shame because it's always like we talk about how horrible these crimes are, about these like real just like they're not even human.
Yeah, monstrous.
Just these like real legitimate monsters that walk this earth, and you don't know the names of the people who actually suffered, but the ones who cause the suffering, they're the ones who, ironically, they get skyrocketing to fame. Some of them probably gain from this, you know.
His prison time was pretty pleasant until he was bludgeoned to death by a cellmate, another inmate that was by a black guy because he couldn't stand the fact that he was targeting kids and black kids. So he was like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you to death, and he did.
Yeah.
But,
Straight justice. But prison justice is the kind of justice that like some people honestly deserve, but
some
our
people find
society,
it like the death is still too easy because a few hits and those are like with the gym equipment kind of thing, like few hits you died and stuff, sure, but some people felt that he should have suffered.
Yeah,
you know,
and these are the punishments that like we as sympathetic humans, we know that some people just deserve
a horrible death,
more harsh punishment for certain things.
Yeah.
But judicial society just isn't ready for shit like that.
And don't forget, for him killing Jeffrey Dahmer, the guy, the black inmate, he was sentenced to another round.
Yeah.
He was already in for some murder or something, and then he's like, double.
But I mean, if you put murder and a murderer together, and one murders another murderer,
which I find a bit strange in the movie setting, but that was actually true because it's like this kind of serial killer, wouldn't you put them in like isolation and like don't even eat in cafeteria together with other people kind?
Yeah, I mean that's like to our knowledge.
But maybe this was back then also, back in the day where
also
the
like,
measures were not as strict or something.
Also, I mean, majority of like
more
America's penitentiary systems is, or at least I found out rather recently, is like it's all run for profit, not really for punishment or justice. It's really for profit, which is once again, this is America. Well, we're in Singapore, but
but I'm not sure if should we wrap it up soon?
Yeah, we should be wrapping it up.
If we should wrap it up, I want to say one final thing to you. Just watch the show, buddy. It's like it's only 10 episodes. Granted, per episode is about an hour, so it's like 10 hours. But like, don't watch it all at one go. But sometimes it gets so good.
I don't have the mental capacity for it.
To back kind. But like, yeah, you really should watch it. And maybe if you do watch it, you can just share with me whether you also understand like the way it was being filmed. The director's perspective was to focus on Dahmer's suffering and his side of the story, kind of a thing.
He was a misunderstood emo boy.
Totally, that's the character. And he plays his roles great. Though the emo kid, chef's kiss, man.
All right, I'll probably get on to that.
He's lying to you.
I recorded an episode about this, so I guess I feel like I have even more of a moral obligation to do it. But I guess until then, if you made it this far into the episode, thank you for watching or listening.
I thought we were going to do something like Spooktober or something. I was waiting for some nice thing. Thank you. I was like, okay. This is Illuminati. Straight to the camera.
Alright.
Okay.
It's actually a perfect triangle, I think. I hope. But I've enjoyed what you saw and or heard. Give us a thumbs up. Give us 5 stars. It does help out the channel. And
can they give 5 stars?
Depending on where to listen. We're on a lot of places.
Yep.
And if you're a murderer, fuck you.
Don't put it as a thumbnail, please. I swear to God.
Good lord. And
are you gonna beep that out?
I don't know.
Just leave it.
If you're watching this in October or anytime soon, happy Halloween. Have some spooks. Was that better?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
And for Father, this is a spooky month. I've been your co-host Fariz, and here's my co-host.
I was gonna say Dahmer, I'm like, no.
No, why?
Spookina. Spookina, come on. Spookina sounds not bad though. Spookina for the day. I'm gonna have a different name every show, okay? That's like kind of my thing anyway. I realize I keep doing it.
Damn it. Alright, let's see if you're able to keep up. We'll see you next time.
Oh, you guys.
Stay safe out there.
Happy Halloween!
Spook!